We're getting prepared to celebrate Independence Day. Today's job news brought us something else to celebrate. This morning we learned that in June, our economy created 850,000 jobs. 850,000 jobs. And the strength of our recovery is helping us flip the script. Instead of workers competing with each other for jobs that are scarce, employers are competing with each other to attract workers.
So let's bring in our panel to talk about the economy and other lightning round topics. Byron York, chief political correspondent of the Washington Examiner. Charles Lane, opinion writer for the Washington Post. And Steve Hayes, editor of the Dispatch. All right, Byron, I'll start with you. You heard what the president said there. Employers are having to compete with each other to attract workers. Some would argue they're also having to compete with the federal benefits that have been extended to a lot of those workers.
Exactly. Look, first of all, the bottom line is 850,000 jobs, that's good news. And presidents often brag and take credit for economic developments, maybe if they didn't have a lot to do with them. President Biden took a real victory lap today, maybe 2 or 3 victory laps today, and really didn't take note of what we're seeing is that, that job competition has led to rising wages in some places, but it's being eaten up by inflation right now. People are quite worried about that. The price of gas, obviously, this holiday weekend is just terrible all around the country. So there's a lot of anxiety right now that economically that just was not captured in this victory lap that the president took, attributing it all to himself and this massive stimulus bill that Democrats passed a couple of months ago.
Well, Steve, against the backdrop of what Byron has laid out, the White House did put out a tweet that says we're going to save 16 cents per person at this year's cookout. A lot of people, yes. I mean, if you take a look at it, it's being dragged. It's being trolled heavily online. Was that the best decision going into this holiday weekend when people are struggling with things like putting gas in the car?
Yeah, it was a curious decision to tweet that tweet. I mean, people know by what they see at the gas tank, by what they see at the grocery stores. People understand and fundamentally feel what inflation is affecting by their own reality, by their own existence. They're not going to be persuaded by a White House tweet touting a 16-cent savings. I think Byron is right. I think the federal government, the role of the federal government, the role of states in ending these $300 per week additional unemployment benefits. You saw more than 24 states, mostly run by Republicans, move to end these additional unemployment benefits in May or announced that they were going to be ending in early June. There's a lot more to learn as we dig into the numbers, but I suspect that we'll learn it's no coincidence that we saw this strong jump in jobs at the same time that we've seen these 24 states cut those off or announced that they were going to cut them off. And it's important to note, too, that nearly 350,000 of those jobs came in the hospitality industry, which had been really struggling to find workers, I think precisely because, or at least in one respect, because of these additional unemployment benefits. So that's at least part of the equation here.
Mm-hmm. And again, to put up the hard data so people can see, great news that we're talking about adding 850,000 jobs, but it was unexpected that the unemployment rate went from 5.9. That's where it's ended up. The estimate was going to be 5.6. Charles, your thoughts?
I think that 5.9 is a little bit of a puzzle. I tend to see it as kind of statistical noise because the broader unemployment rate that includes people who are discouraged from seeking jobs or involuntarily on part-time, that number went down. So there was kind of a mixed picture there. I think the big picture on the U.S. economy is positive. I think we went into an incredibly deep hole in 2020, and thanks to a huge amount of federal stimulus and Federal Reserve Bank stimulus, we're zooming back out of it, and by all accounts, that's going to continue through 2021 and into the first half of 2022. Most of the problems we have actually seem to be the kinds of problems you have when you're growing so fast that you can't keep up. Factories can't find enough inputs, especially semiconductors. They can't find enough workers. There are bottlenecks all over the place of people trying to crank their restaurants and hotels back up. And that's showing in a little bit of inflation. I'll be very, very curious to see whether this in 2022 is the issue people vote on, or whether people regard this comeback as something that was kind of inevitable once the vaccinations occurred. But we can argue over the wobbles in the data, but the big picture is very positive.
All right, I want to get a very quick comment from you guys in this lightning round about the Supreme Court wrapping up its term, so we can get to your winners and losers. But this idea that it has not performed as some of the best and worst predictions were for the court, it hasn't exactly turned into the Handmaid's Tale. And by the way, I got a list today from the court of all of the clerks that everybody has hired for the fall, so it doesn't look like anyone's going anywhere. Charles, start with you, and then we'll go to Steve, then Byron.
Well, just quickly on the point you were alluding to, the non-retirement, at least as of now, of Justice Stephen Breyer. You know, if he stays on the court another term, I think some of the people who are practically demanding that he quit ought to do a little soul searching and think to themselves, was it such a smart idea to try to humiliate this very proud man in that way?
Yeah, it didn't work with Justice Ginsburg. Quick comment from you, Byron, then Steve. Or Steve, then Byron.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think what we've learned from this particular term is that the inclination to divide the court into partisan terms, which has dominated the media over the past decade plus, really doesn't fit in many ways in this particular court, where you have institutionalists, conservatives, liberals, what have you.
Byron?
Well, on this flower shop case that we're discussing tonight, I think it's kind of consistent with one thing with the Supreme Court, is that they don't want to solve the issue here. They, in the cake shop case in Colorado, they issued a very, very narrow opinion. Now they've completely ducked this one. At some point, they're going to have to come out with a ruling on this, but so far they're ducking it.
Yeah, I got to do it on the merits. Okay, very quick.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.